How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. That's right, I am back making videos for the first time. I've really missed it. I wanted to really talk about sports, and with the World Cup coming up, I thought, why not a better time? Why not a better time to make the return and talk about what the starting lineups of each, well, mainly each team in the World Cup is going to look like. And I thought, why not start with the European champions, the country I know best, and that is Portugal. So how I'm going to run it through is I will give you the starting 11, the optimal starting 11 that I think should be starting for each team. And then we'll talk about some players that could be fighting for a spot on the bench or other ones that should be at least considered for a call-up. So without further ado, let's get into it. Portugal, usually under Fernando Santos, plays in the 4-4-2 formation. That's what they used a lot in the Euro Cup and also in the Confederations Cup a couple summers ago. So we're going to stick with that formation because I feel like it does suit the players they have right now the best. So we will start in net, and of course you have to go with Sporting's goalie, Rui Patricio. He's the best option there, there's no question. Anthony Lopes will probably be on the bench in this spot, but nobody comes close to Rui Patricio right now. We now move to the back line, where there is going to be, of course, the four defenders, and we will start on the right. And this is a position that Portugal has a lot of players on the right back spot. They will have three options. They have Ricardo Pereira from Porto, they have Cedric from Southampton, and Nelson Semedo from Barcelona. The only issue is Nelson Semedo has not been playing a lot this season due to some contract issues with the transfer from Benfica. But over here, I am going to go with Cedric just because he has been there. He won the Euro with them. He started the games in the Confederations Cup as well. And on the bench, I will have Ricardo Pereira. They're both very good right backs, both different styles. But I feel like Cedric already kind of has Fernando Santos' style down, so he will be the starter come World Cup time. For the center back position, it's pretty simple who I think they will go with. The first one has to be Pep, Besiktas's own. Pep has to be starting there. Well, who else? He's one of the best defenders in the world, hands down, always has been in my opinion. And also, again, he's been there with the national team through thick and thin, and he's still having a great season out in Turkey as well, in the Champions League too, so there's no other option. And beside him, I think we will be seeing a new debut for Portugal at center back, and that is Ruben Dias, the young man from Benfica, still a teenager, but he will get the start because right now they don't really have many options there. They do have Bruno Alves, who is getting old. Jose Font has not really played at all this season. He's also just transferred to China. And then they have Luis Neto of Zenit. No, he's actually gone from Zenit. So they don't really have anyone to play center back. But Ruben Dias has been playing for Benfica quite a bit in the middle spot, so I don't really see there being any other option. He's played well with a experienced guy like Jardel. I don't see why he can't transfer that with Pepe. On the left back position, this one is kind of a challenge because they do have Rafael Guerreiro, who was playing a lot for them at the Euro and Confederations Cup, but this season for Dortmund, he has not been playing left back. He plays a lot on the left mid or in the center mid, so he is still an option because with the Portuguese national team, he has fit into that spot absolutely perfectly. But I'm actually going to go with Fabio Contrao, the former Real Madrid man who is now at Sporting on loan. He's had a heck of a season. He's kind of found himself again back to when he was at the Real Madrid days. I don't see any option of why he can't play at the left back, but you know what, if they do not decide to go with him, of course, they do still have Rafael Guerreiro, who can just slot right in there. So they have options there. But right now, I am going to be picking Fabio Contrao. Now we move to the midfield, where I said they will be playing with four mids, which will be a right mid, a left mid, and two center mids. One of the center mids will be playing a little bit more back, one a little bit more neutral, and I'm sure you'll figure out who is who when I say the player. So on the right side, we're going to be going with Manchester City's own Bernard Silva. This kid has been absolutely killing it as of late. He's been scoring goals left, right, center. He's also been assisting them. The nickname Bubblegum sticks to this kid perfectly, just like the ball does on his feet. That's why he has the nickname, if you guys did not know that. He's just so good, dribbling-wise, passing, shooting, finishing. The kid has such a bag of tricks that nobody really understands until they've seen him now with Manchester City, but he's been doing this at Monaco for years as well. There's no question he should be on the right side, especially with who we're going to be having at striker playing alongside him. In the middle, we're going to be going with the first central midfielder, and this will be the one that obviously will play a little bit more back, and that is William Carvalho, again of Sporting. A lot of Sporting players making the team this year, it seems. William Carvalho is just an absolute rock in the defensive mid. Nobody can really get by him, just getting back and going forward. He's not the greatest going forward, but he has improved drastically on his passing and also making kind of those darting runs. but back right in front of that back line, he is so dangerous. He is so good at just stopping players and shutting them down, as shown in the previous summers, and he is doing it again this year. João Moutinho is the guy who I have beside William Carvalho because of his experience, and he's been doing it so well at Monaco. Again, he's just one of those guys who you don't hear his name a lot, but it's not always a bad thing, and it's because he just goes out there and does his job. And the reason I'm also picking him there is due to his experience. He's been there, done that with many teams on different levels as well, so I don't see really why it wouldn't be an issue. On the bench, though, I will have the players like João Mario. Danilo Pereira will be on the bench as well to play and back up William Carvalho. No, and if somebody can hit their stride like an Adrien Silva, he could be on the bench. He's just started playing over at Leicester City in January, so I don't see really why he wouldn't be able to make it if he can hit his stride. Also, from Sporting, Bruno Fernandes, from Benfica, Pizzi, they have so many midfielders that they could throw into this team that, I think they are set, and it doesn't really matter who they have because they can all get the job done. On the left side, and at first this was one I didn't really think about too much, but then I remembered they have a star player in the making who can start on the left side, and that is Gonzalo Guedes of Valencia. This kid has been on an absolute tear, and at the beginning of the season was probably the best player in Spain other than Leo Messi. He was playing much better than actually Cristiano Ronaldo at the beginning, only now Ronaldo started picking up his goals and whatnot, but Gonzalo Guedes is just a bag of tricks. Guedes has actually tried to play striker for the national team, and in the past it has not worked. He is more optimal on the left. It gives him a little more space to try to create things, put the ball into the box, and also just have a crack at net from a distance rather than in close, where I think he is a little bit more dangerous. Also on the bench for this spot, they do have options on the left side. Of course, you will have the likes of Gelson Martinez from Sporting. You will have Bruma from Red Bull. There is just a lot of options as well on the left. And obviously the main man who usually plays on the left, I got him in another spot, don't you worry. And of course up top in a 4-4-2, we do have the two strikers. And the first one we're gonna go with, and this one he has not been playing a lot this year, for whatever reason I couldn't tell you, and that's Andre Silva of AC Milan. There's no question I think he should be up here. There is no other option at striker. Portugal is very, very weak at that position. They do have a lot of young guys, but they are way too green to be playing there right now. You have the likes of Nelson Oliveira who might make it on the bench. I don't even know. You have Eder who scored the winning goal in the Euro Cup, but I don't even think he makes the bench this time around. And of course, beside Andre Silva, who else? Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, is going to be playing right there, front and center, right beside his man on the left. And with having the likes of Bernard Silva and Gonzalo Guedes able to whip the ball in, those two are going to have a field day, hopefully, at the Euros with the players putting the ball into them. Other players to note for the bench, of course, that I did not mention, you will have the likes of Ricard Quaresma as well. He's going to be on the bench. I've already said Anthony Lopes, Danilo Pereira, João Mario, who's now at West Ham. Those guys will all definitely be on the bench. Players we will not be seeing at the World Cup, Renato Sanchez sadly will not be at the World Cup. Simple reasoning is he just hasn't been good enough, and he has not been able to find his form since the Euros and going to Bayern Munich. I do blame the move to Bayern Munich a little bit for Renato Sanchez, because they were really hyping him up and putting him in as Xabi Alonso's replacement, but then they go ahead and buy so many other midfielders that it kind of killed his confidence. He's been struggling with injuries as well, so it is kind of a other spot. Also on the left-hand side, I did mention you have Gonzalo Guedes, but you can also put Rafael Guerreiro, as I mentioned earlier, on the left mid side instead of Gonzalo Guedes, or again, you could put him at left back and put Fabio Contrao on the bench. They do have a lot of options, except for really striker and center back, but left back, Portugal has options. Right back, they have, like I said, 3 world-class guys, and in the midfield, they have so many guys to play on the wing and in the middle as well. I would say to keep an eye on this team, if you want to see maybe some younger guys who are playing, keep an eye on the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who is probably going to make it on the bench. He could start ahead of João Moutinho as well. This kid has a cracking shot from distance, just sets up plays so well, and just makes darting runs so often. So if you want to see a new player, keep an eye on him if he does come into games as a substitute, or again, if he does start. The whole team is laid out, I think it will definitely look like this. So as you can see, again, a 4-4-2 with the 4 midfielders, 4 defenders, 2 strikers, and of course Rui Patricio in net. But that is how I think Portugal should line up come the World Cup, as long as those players are healthy. Now I'm going to leave it up to you guys. You guys can tell me who you want me to do next. You can pick any nation at the World Cup, but please pick a nation that maybe I'll know. I won't know much about Morocco. I can tell you right now, Hendy Benatia will probably be playing for them, and that's all I pretty much know. Yeah, you know what, guys? Leave a like if you did like this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, or other players who should be called up to the national teams that I do. And again, the most requested one I will do next. So maybe we'll see the likes of England. Maybe we'll see the likes of Russia, who knows, Spain, Croatia. They have a very fun team. I think that they could have a lot of fun with Serbia as well. So anyone, you can pick anyone in the World Cup that probably does have a lot of optimal players that we will all recognize. And of course, if you are new here, hit the subscribe button for more Soccer Inside or Football Inside, depending on how you like to say it. But it's been your boy, Andrew RFC. Boy, it feels good to be back. Peace, love, take care, bye.